I'm just gonna put it plain and simple for you, okay? You cannot change a darn person in this world, okay? Try changing yourself and realize how hard that is.
Jordan's messages.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
Guys, did you know that we're at my house? Why? I can't remember why we're here, but we are anyways. And Sarah is here and she's pregnant. And don't be confused, she is not watching a webinar. I said, Sarah, I'm begging you, please be on my show. And she said, Jordan, there's a webinar at 12. I said, bleepity bleep. Then she got an AirPod. She's wearing one AirPod, half listening to what I'm saying, but I think that that's all that she needs.
Half her brain tied behind
Half of her brain tied behind her back. The most important thing, you would think it would be the birth of my child. But it is the birth of Blimey Camp, which is happening September 20th through the 22nd, okay? There's early bird special going on right now, and if you miss that, God help you.
That's right, it ends May 16th.
It ends May 16th, so
get your tickets now.
Get them right now. Play laser tag with me, okay? I need the friends. I love laser tag, and if I don't have any friends, I'm not gonna be able to play. So that's gonna be a problem. Also, if you wanna play beach volleyball with me, and you want me to solve all your problems while we're playing beach volleyball, you can just send me direct messages while we're into my ear while we're playing, and it's easy as pie. Also, I begged you guys to send me more messages because I know you've got problems still, and you guys came in clutch. Josh said finding messages took him 2 seconds this time, so you really saved him a lot of time.
Sending them.
Josh needs the help. Your questions have matured. You're 27 and you've got a problem. What's the answer gonna be? I'll solve it right now. Let's get to the messages. Hey, Jordan and Josh and Sarah, I'll add. So I have a really messy problem here. I never really had a great relationship with my father and was often ashamed of him, for he was unable to work for a really long time due to health issues. He started to live in his own world, stayed up real late, and slept until afternoon. I never really felt like he had a real interest in me. I am 23 years old right now, and I've been noticing some weird things. I moved out when I was 18, so I am only seeing my parents every 1 to 2 months. I noticed some weird behavior in my dad that I never really saw when I was living there. It was kind of normal for me, for I didn't know it any different. Sometimes when my dad and I were hugging, he would squeeze me real tight, which is not a bad thing because he is my dad, of course, but then he would tap on my B-U-T-T. That spells butt. Again, this could be seen as simply playful. When I was standing in the kitchen, he would come and stroke my back or rest his hand on my hip. Couldn't read it. When we were driving in the car, he used to rest his hand on my leg. I did not feel comfortable with that, but never had the courage to tell anyone about it or to make a big deal about it. I also catched him watch some forbidden stuff when I was a lot younger, but have recently found some very inappropriate videos and pictures on his phone. Now I feel even more uncomfortable when hugging him or if he is touching me, even if it's meant in an innocent way. I don't think that there is an innocent way at this point. I cannot see it as innocent anymore because I know what he is watching at night. When I think about him, I only feel disgust. I don't want to feel this way and honor him, for he still is my father. How can I honor such a person? My parents also don't have a good relationship. Should I talk to someone about this? I am so ashamed even though I did nothing wrong. The questions like this where it's just, it's so bad. There's nothing, it's like you can't really say anything except like, I'm so sorry this is going on. Your father is a lost cause and your mom is along for the ride. And so are you. There's not like an answer to give that I feel like helps the relationship. The relationship is over. It will always be over unless your dad literally has an intervention with God somehow. I don't know how, whether it's like a life-threatening something happens. I hate to say it, but that's often how it goes in this world. That's what happens in all the movies, okay?
Tragic motorcycle.
Tragic motorcycle. We don't want that to happen, but like, you know, something where he's like, wow, I almost died. Wow, something happened.
Why am I watching porn every day?
Why am I, yeah, what's up with this? Why have I watched this every day of my life and I've like kind of touched my daughter inappropriately? It seems like it's what's going on. These are the questions that he needs to come to, and you can't help him with that, really. I mean, if he's this far gone where he's like been kind of trying to sneak a feel every once in a while and it's just weird like this, and you're like, is this innocent or not? And you're confused, and I'm not confused. It isn't innocent.
That's the worst thing about it, is that she's having to sit there and be like, is this appropriate? Like, you should never have to say that to a parent.
That's what all these people, this is what happens to people. Like, we just think stuff happens. but it doesn't. It's always this ambiguous, and that's why people don't say anything. Right. That's why it goes on, and then it's like, oh, well, because in their mind they think, oh, well, people have it worse. Am
I the perverted one for thinking this is bad?
Right. It's the master manipulators who do this, and that's why all this stuff always goes unsaid. And it's only until somebody comes out and says, hey, this happened, and then another person's reaction to it is like, and then normally that's when a person's eyes is open, like, oh, this isn't like normal life, and I was right the whole time that this was wrong.
But he's probably going to be defensive.
That's exactly, and that's.
What do you mean? What are you accusing me of?
Right. That's why I'm saying if you want to talk to somebody else about this, that's fine. But I don't know if like talking to your dad, who is like an authority figure over you, I don't think that that's gonna go. I don't know if that's good at all. Or I don't know. Not that it's not good. Do it, whatever. But I don't know if anything is gonna get resolved or if it's just gonna get extremely tense. And
you think this is over already?
Yeah. If I would, talk to somebody else. But I wouldn't, talking to your dad about it, I don't know about that. And your mom's along for the ride on this whole thing, so I don't really quite know where she lands in all of this. But to be honest, I think you need to just distance yourself away from this whole situation. Not run from your problems, I don't say that, but, clearly this person has a weight on, in your mind, and I don't think that talking to them is really going to help. I don't think being around them is really going to help. So I would just distance myself and just start a new life. I think that's the best option. It's not a great option, but I think that's the hand that you've been dealt. And I would love for this man to go to prison. I would absolutely love it. Now guys, as you may know, we recently relaunched our supporter community. It went flawlessly, and that is because we were able to market a landing page on our website that directed people to our new supporter community. It's called Building Hype, and then the payoff was huge. Of course, because we built this website with Squarespace, it only took a few minutes of our time, and obviously it looked amazing. We only recommend stuff on this YouTube channel that we actually use ourselves. And we have been using Squarespace for just almost 100 years. It's been a long time. BlimeyCow.com is not the only website that is a Squarespace website of ours. Whether you want to build a blog, a web store, or a portfolio, Squarespace is where you need to be. All the templates look so amazing, and you can customize them to do whatever you want. They're always adding new features too. Recently, they've added Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally curated layouts and styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up. Tailored to your brand or business and optimized for every device. If SEO stresses you out like it stresses us out, let Squarespace handle that with their optimized SEO tools so you show up more often to more people and grow the way that you want. You can sell content easily, whether it's physical merchandise with print on demand or digital content. You can even sell memberships to your site and start building a community around your content. And speaking of your content, you can actually upload videos straight to your website. So here's the question. What do you want to build? Listen to me right now. Do it with Squarespace. It's time to finally build that website that you've been procrastinating and putting off. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to our link, squarespace.com/cow, because there you're going to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/cow. Now, let's get back to the messages. Dear Jordan and Josh, my husband's best friend is my worst enemy. He calls me crazy, controlling, abusive, and the B word. Just because I didn't like my husband hanging out with him for hours every night right after I had a baby. He was telling my husband how abusive I was for not giving him freedom when they were hanging out 3 nights a week and I was still in diapers. He also told my husband that he should have an affair because I wasn't ready to do 8 weeks postpartum, and you can take that out if you want. My midwife said it's normal not to be ready for a couple months, Josh. So, obviously. My husband's language and attitude is worse than the more he spends with his friend. And now that his friend from high school is back, I tell him he should hang out with him and cut the other friend out. His friend that is a jerk is depressed and suicidal, and my husband thinks he shouldn't cut him out. Should he cut him out of his life, or should I stop bugging him about it? This has caused a lot of frights, and I'm starting to think I am being controlling. But I don't know. Thanks in advance. See, this is the person who's like, I've heard of these wives who they don't let their husbands hang out with their friends. Is that who I'm being? And it's like, I don't think so. I mean, like, the guy's calling you the B word and screaming at you and, like, saying he's gonna, hurt himself and everybody, and it's like your husband's like, look, we just need to stay with this guy.
I don't know what he's gonna do.
I don't know.
You have to deal with the way he mistreats you. He calls you the B word.
I don't know what he's gonna do to me. Yeah. You can be a nice person. Your husband, maybe he's coming at this where he's like a nice guy. I got this friend who's kind of nuts, and he's like kind of mean to my wife and everything, and he has a good relationship with the dude because they've known each other for a while, and then it just starts to go off the rocker, and he's like, wow, why this guy's calling my wife the B word? Like to her face.
Hold on, what'd you say?
Well, we've known each other for like 15, 16 years.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you're depressed. That's okay.
That's right. You're depressed. Don't worry about it, man. It's okay. I know you're having a hard time. They go out, they talk for a while, and your husband walks away and he's like, man, I'm like a good Christian because I like him helping this guy or whatever. And the guy, meanwhile, walks out of the room after they talk and says, yeah, that's right, B, walks out. It's just, I don't think your husband's doing much, to be honest, given the sentences that I'm reading. Is your husband gonna watch this? That's my question. Show your husband this. All right, let me talk. I'm talking to you right now. Husband, are you on? Hello. I'm speaking to you. I'm just gonna put it plain and simple for you, okay? You cannot change a darn person in this world, okay? Try changing yourself and realize how hard that is. And then try and change your strange B-word friend. Like, please, just trust me on this one. Even if you feel like you're making a difference in this guy's life,
wasted time.
There's a really good chance that you're wrong, okay? And I'm not saying that it's bad to like be a good friend to somebody, but you gotta realize this is the honest truth, all right? You can think that you're being a good friend and you're really being manipulated and a pushover.
That's right.
That is, it's for these kinds of people, that is very, very easy to fall into, and you don't realize it until you step away for a little while, and then you come back and you're like, wow, that was kind of crazy, right? This guy was like mean and calling you the B word, and it just seemed kind of normal at the time because this had been going on slowly but surely until this guy's true colors comes out. And you're like, wow, what happened? You don't know what to do. Well, I want to be a nice guy. I've known this guy for a long time. Blah, blah, blah. You have to understand that you're actually being manipulated by this person for this to actually be okay. And I know that you're probably having a fun time. You guys have a nice time. You play video games together late at night, whatever. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. But just know that you're wasting your life. And this is a guy who's calling your wife the B word and being be himself. Look, the point of this message is to just tell you, if you think you're being a good person by letting this guy say all these mean things, you're actually the one who's being manipulated by this person. It's not that you're being a nice guy. It's not that you're doing the Lord's work. It's that this person has such a stranglehold on you that you're scared to walk away because he's telling you he's gonna hurt himself, he's gonna do all this stuff. And look, at the end of the day, that's that person's choice. Don't let that ruin your life because somebody is, threatening you with all sorts of stuff that you don't even know is real or not real. And at the end of the day, it's like, wow, now my life is like I'm a slave to this person because they're saying this stuff, and that's not a good way to live.
You can't change this guy, but you can change the life of your wife and child.
Isn't that nice? That's a nice power to have. So use that power for good.
All you gotta do is not play Call of Duty late at night. Not hang out with your weirdo friend. He'll be fine. He'll find someone else to manipulate.
Yeah, he'll find somebody else.
My webinar is over, by the way.
Huh?
Said my webinar is over.
Oh, her webinar is over. You have your AirPod in?
No.
Sarah's pregnant. Don't be messy. And leave good messages.